You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Justified After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Justified After Show.
And welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Justified Season 5, Episode 2, The Kids Aren't All Right. I'm John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by the ever-insightful Tamara Berg.
Hey, everybody.
The semi-coherent Steve Bottomley.
Hey, that's me.
And the always entertaining Matt Lieberman.
Hello, hello.
All right, thank you for humming in the booth there, Stephen Lemieux. Stephen, thank you very much.
Hey, guys.
Okay, so let's see. This episode, we have Cyrus being offered some candy by Candy. We have Art fishing for some tonin. We have Allison with Raylan. And, of course, the return of Loretta is where I want to start this time.
Loretta. Sweet Loretta.
And what have I always said on this show every time?
Dames is trouble.
That's right. And
Dames be trouble.
There she is. He is trouble. This is trouble in the making.
Don't matter the age.
Oh, my God.
Dames is trouble.
Dames is trouble.
And you know, as soon as she comes there, I go, oh, my God. As soon as you know it's Loretta, you just go, oh, man, what is this going to be now?
Because Loretta's an operator.
Oh,
always
yeah.
has been.
Well, didn't she learn from the best?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And my favorite part of the whole storyline was when he said, hey, take it easy on the rest of us. Because I think he knows that she's playing a different game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a game she's going to be playing for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's pretty good at it at such a young age already.
Yeah, he's got to be seen. He's got to be seen that she's got skills.
Yeah.
And you know, this isn't the only time he's going to have to bail her out
No.
because of
He
those
knows
skills.
it. He knows it.
Well, he knew that, and he tried not to bail her out.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first instinct was like, oh, no, leave her in
Step
jail.
away.
Because that's what happened to me. I had to spend my night in jail and take the rap for it. So, and of course,
Right.
but don't you think he changed as soon as he met Allison? He goes, okay, maybe I better rethink this.
Yeah.
Just so he can play.
Well, I think that's part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he was really going after Derek to go to have a chat with him. I think that was all just.
Well, I mean, part of me thinks that he would just because, like, he does care about Loretta.
Yes, he does.
She is kind of like this weird quasi-surrogate daughter, and then also with his own child, you know, fast progressing alive.
Okay, yeah, but okay, we're on the steps of the Lexington PD, and you know, Derek, you know, he says his line like whatever. I don't want to feel, and then he leaves. It didn't look like Raylan was at all ready to go talk to him and say anything. No. Only was
Until.
So maybe
Amy's
later.
smart.
The next dame comes in.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But then we have to account for the fact that Loretta says the one thing to him. She says, "Look, you were gone the moment I said that he was missing, because you are who you are. You're not going to change." So
Yeah.
she did play him, but
She knew how.
And then in 2 scenes later, he's saying the exact same thing to Allison, that Loretta is who she is. She's not going to go changing. And then a second later, he says, "What? I can't change. I'm not capable of changing." I was like, what is the theme here?
I mean, the theme is that, you know, you can't change who you are, but you can always want to.
Yeah.
I don't know that Loretta
Hope
wants
springs
to.
eternal.
I'm sure that she did when she wound up in jail. I'm sure she did when she nearly got this kid killed, but not enough to make her actually do anything different. I guarantee she'll wind up in trouble once again.
Oh yeah. And you know, you saw that shot of her sleeping as he's driving back, and this is what I love about this. They're hitting that beat on. So what's your kid going to turn out like? Right?
Yeah.
Do you go down there, or do you let her? Because he's seen, okay, people around me end up this way. What do you do?
Yeah.
Do you try to raise your kid, or do you just like? And he says later on, she's okay down there. She's fine. So he keeps pushing that away, but they keep bringing up, you know, this could be your kid, or maybe not. You don't know.
Yeah.
And it's obviously so much more relevant now that he has a child. So, and it happens to be a girl.
A girl,
there you go,
exactly.
there's all that.
And I think that plays so much better for this character, because I can't see that emotional, troubling, you know, moment with a little boy.
Really?
No.
With his own daddy issues with him and Arlo?
I think he'd have a better grasp on it. I think he'd be able to go, I got this, I know what I need to do. I think with a girl, it's kind of like, I don't know that territory. I know them one way, and this is like completely different.
I think it would be just as interesting with a boy because I don't think he would have that moral. He'd have his own moral compass about what he think you should do, but if it didn't work, he has nobody to model.
Right. I think a boy would be
absolutely.
much more external, and you know, what I love about them using the girl is it's so internal, and you get to, you know, you have to fill in the gaps of what he's going through.
He obviously has enough trouble handling adult women. And why?
Because Dames is trouble.
Dames is trouble.
Always.
Yeah.
Great.
But you know, I loved seeing Loretta again. It's been a few years since we saw her. She's still living with the same foster family,
Right.
so
Yes,
even
I
in
think
spite of
so.
all of her crimes,
There is some stability in her life.
But didn't she come into some money?
yeah. What happened to the money?
Mags gave her some money.
Mags gave her some money.
Yeah.
Last I remember,
She's
she
a
was
minor.
Yeah, I know. She probably doesn't have access
It's
to
probably
it.
trust.
Probably some sort of trust.
She's not 18
Wait,
yet.
But
Turn
seriously,
18,
but the last
baby.
time we saw her, she wasn't. I mean, let's look at how much she's progressed in her field of endeavor, shall we say?
Yeah.
Because now she's working with Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Has a deal with him, and not only does she get a deal with him, but she's smart enough to move the money.
Yeah, she double crosses him and then double
Or the
crosses
pot, or whatever
Her
the hell she
boyfriend.
did.
her
Yeah.
boyfriend, who's just a total rich yuppie jerk. Well, I mean, he is.
No, yes, I just like the way he said it. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's driving around in his brand new Dodge Charger. You
Yeah.
know, not a care in the world, dishing Molly at rich kids' parties.
Right.
You know, he's the son of a cop. He thinks he's invincible.
Right.
Until he gets sucked
yeah.
into the web of McCready.
Well, he's not the son of a cop, but they sold to the son of a cop.
Oh.
Yeah, he was. He's
Okay.
just. But I agree with everything
I
else.
still think he's the same thing.
Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
the rich kid, you know, D-bag.
And, you know, just the way he was talking to Raylan in the LPD, the Lexington Police Department, just the, hey.
Pig.
Hey, Pig.
Exactly, pig.
You're not going to let her out?
You said that in the police station?
I know, exactly.
Seriously?
Raylan is so water off a duck. But, I, you know, because he was that way, I was going, somebody punch him.
Yeah.
And then you got your wish.
Yeah, I did. It was nice.
Yeah, he nearly got buried in a big old pit.
It was great. Nice to see the Harris brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So great to see Wood Harris. I mean, I love The Wire. I also
Yeah.
love Remember the Titans.
There you go.
And he was great as Jimi Hendrix in that one TV movie. Why am I such a Wood Harris aficionado? I don't know.
But thank you for giving your CV. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
very, very welcome.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just going to
Count on
start
your
throwing out
And
names.
Steve Harris from The Practice.
Yes.
And,
Other things.
Help me out here.
I know Wood Harris far
there you go,
better
there
than
you go.
Steve
Okay,
Harris.
there you go. But they were fun in their, was it SEAL Team
Enforcement
6?
moment. Yeah, the SEAL Team 6.
Now, I thought that was cool and everything. I didn't quite get it. What was your take on that? What was that? They have obviously their little way of dispatching people.
It's grouping.
Yeah,
It's-
they want to have a tight grouping in their shooting. Is that the idea? So
Yeah,
this is just
I can only guess that will come back, and you know, I think they laid that in as their thing. If these guys are still going to be around, last time we saw them, they were handcuffed.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it was also the way of showing, okay, again, keeping that level of danger up because we don't know who these people are. We know Hot Rod to some degree, but we don't know how badass he is because we've met him before. But he's obviously got to have some cojones if he's in the business he's in. But the fact that these guys would just off this guy right away, then you go, okay.
Yeah.
So that ups the stakes a little
They
bit.
have coverage.
You have to remember how they stole the pot business from Dickie Bennett back in season 3, and he was very ruthlessly efficient. You know, the guy doesn't like to get blood on his own hands, but he hires enough guys who know how to do it for him. He's very direct. He's not going to take this slight easily.
No.
And just while we're talking about the Harris brothers, I loved their kind of interplay between each other, which was just classic Elmore Leonard, where you've got these henchmen characters who are in their own world. They refer to each other first before making any kind of decisions, and they were very funny.
Yeah. And there was that, you know, of course, the interplay with Raylan is also nice too. My favorite line was, my rule.
Oh,
What was the line he says? My rule of thumb here is you keep talking, I put you in the trunk.
Put you in the
And
trunk,
we saw him do that with Jody Arias.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Chris Chalk, that was fun.
Our friend Chris Chalk,
Yeah,
friend of the
Chris
show,
Chalk,
Chris
who's a friend of the show. So we know he's serious, and that I was hoping, I really wanted to see that.
You know, I'm curious about. Do you suppose Loretta knew Raylan was going to cut a deal to get her out of trouble, or?
Yeah, I think
I think
absolutely
she figured somehow
knew.
or another Raylan
Yeah.
was going to save her. That's why she called him.
Right. Absolutely. I think she knew that, okay, no matter what trouble I'm in, he'll at least get me or help me out of this.
Yeah.
Which means then in this series that Raylan knew she knew that.
Yeah, that's what he says. You played me. He even gives it up to her. And that's when she's I didn't play you.
Because he's got a soft spot for the chick.
Well, no,
right.
she didn't necessarily, I don't remember the exact line, but I interpreted it not as, you know, oh, I didn't play you. It was just, I didn't have to play you.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. She yeah, she didn't have to trick him anything. All she had to do was say he was missing. She knew that he would come, and so did Raylan.
Yeah.
He's not going to let the kid out there. As much of a douche as he is, he's going to try to help the kid.
He can't be an accessory to murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No, not
Yeah. Well,
without the
also,
badge.
what happened to the...
unless it's Nick Augustine.
Unless we're talking about the bigger story.
Right, and we'll get into that a bit later. Oops. Yeah, at the end of last season, like, you knew that was going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
what happened to the money? He couldn't have let Loretta keep this money.
I know.
But we didn't see it.
No, we don't know where it is. So I'm wondering if Loretta will be back. And
I read today that she's not coming
She's
back
not
this
coming
season.
back.
Oh, bummer.
So where the heck is all the
Where is the money?
Yeah.
money or pot or whatever was missing?
Did she ever give it up?
No, as far as I know.
I
Right.
mean, it wasn't part of the deal Raylan made with Hot Rod. I
Right.
assumed
Yeah.
that would come up. Like, here, we'll give you
Right.
everything that they stole, and you let them walk away. And
But
it
no,
was,
does anybody think that's really going to hold true? Do you think the Hot Rod's not coming back into Kentucky?
there's no way.
I don't think
No.
so either. Yeah.
No.
Because Raylan didn't give him anything in this deal.
Yeah.
It was just, it wasn't a deal at all. It was a
He's just
these
an
are the-
ultimatum.
Yeah,
Right.
these are
I
the
won't
terms
kill
of
you.
your surrender.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which was epic, classic Raylan.
Yeah.
Very badass.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I'll take that for you before you can.
Oh yeah,
free
I
your
love
weapon.
that. It was so good to see that again.
Yeah. I thought
You
for
know?
sure they were going to see. Oh, we were going. Oh, good. He's going to.
Yeah.
You know, take down 4 of them. This will be good.
It's going to be fun.
And it does kind of go back to what he was talking about with the brothers about them too much paperwork.
Yeah,
we don't
that's-
have to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And then he holds up his badge and it'll be legal.
Are you gonna make me do the paperwork?
Yeah, that was nice. And the other
No,
shot
the
I liked
line
about
was,
that,
"Are you gonna let me do the paperwork?"
Oh.
Yeah. Which I think is just that much better. It's just like, give me a reason. I'll do
yes.
that paperwork. That paperwork is like a dessert
This
after
will
a
be
nice
fun.
meal.
Yeah, exactly. I get to
Right?
savor
Yeah.
it.
There were 2 moments I really loved in that storyline. One, he comes out with a shovel they just threw.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Genius. I love that part. And I like how they dealt with Derek at the end. His face just in black.
Yeah.
In
Beat up.
Raylan's face.
Beat up, puffy.
Right, but Loretta, there's nothing but blackness and
Yeah.
and the light in Raylan's face. I thought that was really cool how they did that one.
Derek,
I have a loaded gun, get
I
out
got
of
a
my
loaded
car.
gun. Get out of my car.
That also
Beautiful.
motivated him.
Well, I don't know what else I want to talk about that, but I like seeing Loretta back. I think she does a fabulous job.
Yeah,
I think she's
Caitlin
very
Dever
But
is a
you're
great
saying
young
that's it.
actress.
She's not coming back.
That's what I read today.
Okay, really? All right.
Wow.
And
That's part of the news.
Well, no,
But you never know.
The interweb is not always reliable.
Oh, okay.
But I believe I read that Graham Yost said that she was not coming back.
Well, there's always next season.
We'll probably
Yeah.
not see
Yeah.
Derek again.
No, I don't imagine.
Probably not.
I don't imagine.
That would be okay with me.
Yeah.
So, all right, but a sideline to that storyline, of course, is Allison. So we finally get to meet the new love interest for Raylan.
And she's saucy.
Little
She's not.
Spitfire?
Yeah, she's not giving him. She'll give him, like not the full time of day. She'll give
No.
him like the second hand.
Yeah.
Hours and minutes. You leave that. That's on your own.
Here's the thing about that: when she was on the steps and she starts that dialogue,
Yeah.
right away I'm thinking he's gonna kill her in one of these episodes.
He's going to kill her?
There's
What?
because she came on so
Steve.
strong
Uh-huh.
that I'm thinking she's playing both sides of the fence here. That
Really?
that's where I went
Wow,
right
okay.
away of just
All right.
like
Wow.
because she
Interesting.
knew so much and she was so confident. You know what I mean? I just kind of went. There might be something more there.
What I took away from it, I'm surprised that she
Maybe
knew
not
so
kill
much,
her,
only
but-
because Loretta, I was like, wow, so Loretta obviously shared that information because how else would she know that?
Well,
Okay.
but she also says she recognized him because she's seen his picture in the
In the paper.
I don't know how much information she actually did share with.
Well, why
Allison.
would she recognize him in the paper if she hadn't been told about him?
I guess.
No,
I don't know.
that's what I was saying.
He's a
She
hero
had-
cop.
No, what? She's a
She-
And he's
marshal.
hot.
Yeah.
And you look through the
Hero
paper and you
Marshal.
go, hubba, hubba.
Oh, is
I
that
need to
right?
pay attention to that guy.
Yeah, it's not an
Oh, look,
advertisement.
there he is on the stairs.
Oh man, you're the guy from the paper.
And then you say that whole thing about not wearing your underwear, or you may forget.
Yeah, now that was a little suggestive.
But it also suggests that she may just be a little more kind of scatterbrained. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't think that she has an agenda. I feel like she's not quite, you know, super professional. She's a social worker.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to look down on social workers.
As far as we know.
Well, okay, fine, Steve. King of paranoia over there. But I have to.
What do you mean by that?
Take her at her word.
Yeah.
No, like she's had some ruse with Loretta. I'm going to pretend to be your social worker.
Yes, that's how layered this is. That's how deep it goes.
That's how deep it goes. It goes all the way to the
Harlan.
top.
All right.
It goes all the way
Ain't
to the
nothing real
top.
in Harlan. No one gets out alive.
Yeah, but what I liked about it is that he was. She was like a whirling dervish around.
Yeah,
he was
he was a little off kilter around her.
Yeah, and of course he liked it because it caught his attention and everything. But
Immediately.
I thought that part was terrific. I think, and she gives him shit.
Yep.
Which we always love it. When
We've
somebody
never
gives
seen
Raylan
him be
shit.
this aggressive when meeting a new love interest.
No, that's true, because he doesn't usually have to pursue.
Right. And in this case, she says, you know, you're a marshal, find me. And of course he does in record time.
Yes.
In the span of the car ride over to Derek's. Found it out very easily. And then brings her to this fancy criminal mansion.
Fancy pantsy
Oh, yes,
criminal
criminal
mansion that's
mansion.
got a nice wine cellar.
Yeah,
He
that's
allowed
right.
2 felons to go in order to get to her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a bowling alley.
First time I've
which
ever
I
seen Raylan
loved.
drinking wine. I have to admit, it looked a little weird.
Yeah, seeing
It's
him.
a little incongruous there.
It's got to be good wine.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure that
course.
Detroit guy.
And Art's not responsible.
No,
so
absolutely.
Whatever.
So,
Yeah.
in Monroe's place. So, but yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd give up the apartment over the bar for it, though.
I'm not giving it up. He's just staying there
noisy.
temporarily.
You
Man's
know.
getting on in years. He wants some sleep. He wants a nice kitchen with an espresso maker.
Yeah, and a bowling alley.
Yeah, can we talk about this mansion for
Let's
a second?
talk about it. This is
Yes,
Xander
let's.
Berkeley, who's I love Xander Berkeley and everything he does. And
Great actor.
I'm sure you got his.
I don't have his CV on hand.
Okay, great.
But I do recognize his
Monroe.
face. Yes.
Did some, let's say, fancy laundering for
Banking for Detroit.
So that's why he's caught now. They have seized his property.
Right.
And of course, why not have Raylan step in? It's nice to see Raylan in different surroundings.
I know, but I couldn't quite understand. I'm like, is this a regular practice? Like they kind of push it away as like, oh, we're just trying to piss this guy off. And I'm like, great, funny, like that. But I'm also, is this legal?
Well, they said that it was, we're placing a guy there to see if anything
else shakes out.
happens.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
what else
Yeah.
shakes
Sure.
out.
And it's legal because they can seize it and those kind of things. And I did some reading on that, not for this, but for something else. They do it, and sometimes they do find other criminal enterprises that occur, and then obviously people show up not knowing.
Oh, sure.
Someone has to answer the phones.
But great scene with the whole power thing and Monroe's particular choices in life and relationship
his,
choices
And the help he
and
hires.
also the gun moment.
Oh yeah,
with
so when is that
Raylan.
gun gonna come back? Do you think? Huh? When are we gonna use that gun?
We're going to get to see what
That nice Colt used by the
third
general,
Colt
whatever the hell.
It's
And
so
Civil
nice.
War.
It's so nice when Chekhov's gun is actually a gun.
Literally a gun.
It's very rarely a gun nowadays. Yeah, but we'll see if it still fires. Probably around episode 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope
Sounds
so.
right.
I think the most important thing we came out with on that is iguana, very tender.
Very
Yeah,
tender.
very
It's
Very
very
tender.
tender.
Yes.
So funny.
So she gets a line.
Yeah, line. She made his best.
That was a good line, though.
And she had a great look. It was
She
classic.
did.
The whole scene
I
was
believed
wonderful.
iguana were tender when she said that.
I think it's
Did
gonna be
too.
fun to be there for a while. Mm-hmm. I want to see the bowling alley now.
I-
Jacob Pitts finally shows up. Tim, we haven't seen him.
Tim Gunderson.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're taking this guy's house because Detroit is basically no longer there. I mean, they're moving in.
Well, their
I mean,
infrastructure's all dying.
Yeah.
Right.
Falling down.
It's falling
to pieces.
apart, and all the
It's just-
pieces are
Yeah,
coming
so
up. But when the
so that's
head
why
of
they
the
had it.
mob dies, and then suddenly all of his assets are seized, there's going to be notes that dictate who else was in on the conspiracy.
But there's still one more guy. There's still Arkin.
Well,
or
No.
did-
He
did
fled. He fled the
disappear?
country.
Yeah, we don't.
It's the reason why Nikki Augustine and Sammy
Yeah.
Tonin were in conflict in the first place. Is when when Drew Thompson was captured.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, they're gonna come for me.
Theo took off.
Theo left the country.
Just a little preview of our news and gossip in the Graham Yost interview from last week. The question was, with Sammy dead, will we see the return of Theo Tonin this season? And Graham Yost's answer was that falls under the category of I'm not telling you.
No, so which probably
Great.
means yes.
So I think that does mean yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's super exciting.
I know, right?
Oh man. I want. I know this is getting into prediction territory, but I'm like, what if he was the one who stole the shipment? I know that's not what. I know that's not what happened, and I have a far more plausible theory. But the mind
Which you will
boggles.
save for predictions. I'm
Yes,
sure.
of course.
All right. Well, it'll be fun to see how Allison keeps messing with Raylan.
Keeps him occupied, you mean?
Keeps him occupied. Yeah, sure, that'll be fun. But just the fact, well, we saw it in the coming up, which is you do remember that I'm a Martha.
Yeah, she's
Better
sitting
Martha,
on the
she's
bed
rolling a joint,
on her
yeah.
pants.
So yeah,
Which she apparently did remember to put on that day.
there she goes. Thank you, Tamara.
Well,
Pointing that out.
regularly as I watch this show with all you boys and we see lots of naked lady butts, although we did see some naked Dewey last week, I hear the grumble, best show on TV.
Steve Bottomley.
Oh my God!
I didn't say it was Steve.
All right.
I didn't say it was Steve.
Yeah. No, there's plenty of room under the bus. We can all be thrown there.
It's a big vehicle.
I appreciate the
All right.
writing and the depth.
And the butts.
Absolutely, and the naked
The
butt.
writing and the depth.
Speaking of
the
attractive
butts.
women, let's move on to Mara.
Yeah.
And the Mara and
Yes.
Boyd singer. So obviously,
Okay.
Paxton has survived to some
Yes.
degree. We
Yeah.
don't know how much, but at the beginning of the episode, he's pretty much a veg.
In a coma.
And Mara is still tending to him, but she tells the sheriff, was it Toomey?
Mooney.
Mooney, excuse me, thank you. Mooney, that definitely it was Boyd. Although, well, she didn't say
Mooney
Boyd.
tells her it was
Yes.
Boyd,
Yeah.
and she
Yes.
says yes.
Yeah.
I love the
And
way he describes him.
Well, right,
In the fluorescent teeth or whatever.
right.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinny guy, dark, spiky hair, smile so bright you can see it from space.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Pretty much the deal.
Yeah.
Interesting how brash he is in saying, well, I would say that Boyd Crowder's probably afraid of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Wait.
I was getting kind of like a weird vibe of
The whole thing,
like he was like, oh, I can step in, save this woman, scoop her right up.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
with this old guy. I'm gonna
When-
make this happen.
When they
Gotta
were
stay
in the
close.
hospital room, he had his hand kind of caressing the back of her neck.
Yeah, like he literally wrapped some hair around his fingers. He
Yeah.
was stroking it.
So I
Super
thought they were a
creepy.
love interest. I was waiting for that history to come out of like, hey.
Oh, she wouldn't have
No,
him.
she's
No, but that
Why?
was a
She had
weird
an
moment.
older
That
rich
wasn't
guy.
accidental.
Yeah, but he
They
was a
had
rich
that-
guy.
Yeah.
They had that moment of him kind of caressing her neck, and it was in the shot. It wasn't.
But it's not like there's any history there. She's a new resident. She's international. She came to this country to marry Lee.
Yeah, I know. I got that. It's just it was weird to have
It is
that
weird.
little shot in there, and that.
Well, I think the weird is he's manipulating her. He's telling her now, I am going to have you wrapped around my finger, and you are going to do what I want you to do.
I think the
It
part
wasn't.
that
So it was the predatory, like,
Right.
honey, you're going to have to be with me from here on out.
Yeah. I think the
Didn't that
part
feel predatory?
Yeah.
Yes, that was very scary. Oh my God.
I'm shaking.
I know.
But what was missing for me was her how she felt
Reaction?
about that.
Yeah.
That was like, well, okay, I didn't quite get enough. I wanted a little bit more about what. Okay.
Every
Matt.
time I hear her speak, it is so jarring to hear someone without a Kentucky accent. It's so weird to hear her speaking in her proper accent, which, going back to last week when I was like, did she slip out of her
Right.
accent? I'm going to just put that on the pile of, no, that was just you.
Okay.
So I think she very much is who she says she is, but she is a smarter operator than
Yeah.
people give her
Yes.
credit for.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Unfo-
And she likes to play with fire.
Yes.
Because I think the reason she said
She likes
yes,
to play with smokeless fire.
She does.
Yes, she
Electronic
Or
fire.
fireless.
So here's the thing. So last week Boyd says it was $100,000 that the deal was, and this week she's asking for $300. So
Right.
was she?
She was
did
o-
she
she was
overhear everything?
eavesdropping.
It's kind of weird because the way it shot it didn't look like she was close enough because the way she ran a pretty far away to actually
Yes.
get to the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that beating took place.
A lot of things aren't adding up.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Boyd lets her live.
Because she's pretty.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I do.
Do you
seriously.
think it's because she's like
she's
staring him down in the bar and just, you know, like, I'll go toe to toe with you?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he's
I think she
intimidated
stared
by
him down
her.
last week when she said, "Look, you have two choices: either kill me or leave."
Yeah, but last week, yeah, but that was kind of like
That was if he was going to kill her, that was the time to do it.
right.
So
But,
I think-
but this week, she actually made the decision to have the detectives, or the cops,
Yeah,
bring
sheriff.
her to the bar,
Right.
so
Right.
that she could stare him down, and there was that, you know.
Well, I don't know that
intense
she knew
moment.
that that's how it was going to go down. She just said it was Crowder. Now, the thing I'm trying to figure out is, now that he knows, what's Boyd going to do about all this? Because
That's why, yeah. And I'm trying to figure out why, if she's asking for $300,000 now.
yeah,
To me, that would, if I were Boyd, that'd be okay. Well, we'll dig you a hole because why?
Why
You
would
know,
I spend that
it'd be
money?
easier
Well,
for you to
here's-
disappear.
Here's
Yeah, exactly.
what may be. I mean, you look back over the course of the series, the only woman that I can recall him ever wanting dead is Ellen May.
Right.
And that was just to protect
Ava.
Right.
Right.
I think that now that Ava is in prison, I think he's a little more sensitive towards not necessarily killing women, but I don't think he would do that to a woman now. I feel like he sees what Ava's going through. For whatever reason, it's changed him a bit. It's softened him a bit, and it's making him a little more sloppy, which is why these bad things are starting to happen to him. Maybe that's an overreach. I don't know, but that's just where my
I don't
head's
know
going.
either. I just, that was the first thing I thought of when she asked for the $300,000, which was, oh, well,
Yeah, I know.
you're dead.
Yeah, I don't. That's the part I'm going. Why did he? You know, of course, he wouldn't say it to her because why let her know his plans right there in the hospital? But I'm just going. Why would he not off you now? What,
Because it lets the story go on a little further, and we can look at Mara for a couple more weeks.
Well,
We did it,
There you go.
America!
Plus,
Thank
he's
you.
going to have another problem anyway.
But
if
she's got
Paxton
nothing on him
speaks.
because as soon as if he kills her, who's gonna care? Who's gonna know? Who's
Right,
gonna-
nobody.
She left town.
Yeah, because husband is a vegetable. She's now gone back to her home country.
Right.
You know?
Plus, the sheriff, you know, he's going to think, well, I just scared her away.
Yeah.
You know, I put her between a rock and a hard place.
Well, but at the same time, though, if she winds up dead so soon after there was an attempt on her husband's life, it's going to open a far bigger investigation into what happened. If Lee wound up dead and then Mara winds up dead, that's a double homicide.
If they find Mara's dead, that's my
Right.
thing. Is I don't think they'll
They-
find
they
that
would never
body.
find her.
He's good at hiding bodies.
There's
He's
that-
good at
They
trying to
figure she
rehide
just
them
went
too.
back to Latvia.
He's not great at hiding
That's
bodies
true.
because they found Delroy.
Well, yeah, but
Then they found.
so that you'd hope he'd learn from that.
Yeah, you think he would. Well, that may be why. Also, you recall, you know, when she was like, when she's like, you know, he's not dead. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't take care of that. I was
Yeah.
in a state.
Right.
And we were like, okay, all right, boy. Yeah, we'll back up. Back up a little bit. He wasn't thinking clearly. That's what he was admitting.
I do like how they do put her in a, you know, in a quandary. Now she's got to
with
do the
sheriff.
sheriff.
Right.
Yeah.
come
That was
after
That's
a
her.
great.
scary scene. That was
Yeah.
a creepy, scary scene with her being pulled over by the police and Mooney threatening her, pulling her out, throwing her across the road. And, I mean, she was a little ragdoll to him.
Yeah.
A little more predatory.
Again,
And the little touch.
a little
on the
more
back.
than this.
Yeah. a little
Dude
bit.
is scary. He's flat out scary.
Yeah, he
and,
is.
you know, he's got a badge which makes him that much more dangerous.
That's right.
Do we know him? I'm.
He showed up.
yeah.
He showed up last season, or it might have even been two seasons ago.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he was a deputy when our last sheriff.
No, the one prior to that, the one that got arrested.
Oh, the one who got arrested.
Yeah.
I'm just
He was on
thinking
that
of
crew.
Drew Thompson of Shelby. He was
yeah.
there before Shelby
Yeah.
got hired.
Okay.
Yeah,
Prior to that.
he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Is he dirty? Is
Yeah.
he clean? He's dirty.
Yeah.
He was always a jerk, but we didn't know how dirty he was until right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good character.
But she's
It'll be fun to watch.
that great conflict because she's in a horrible place. Okay.
Well,
If
and
I
now
don't finger him.
at the end of this episode, we find out that Paxton is not dead and
we got some brain activity.
no longer in a coma, apparently.
Yeah.
Can speak and can say a name.
Yeah.
He only
So,
needs to say one
again-
more name to really start creating problems.
Boyd should have finished him off. All coming back to bite him.
Unless he can't remember anything.
Right.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Fell down the
Stranger
stairs.
things have happened. But, I mean, he remembers who his wife is.
We're not going to do the amnesia round, please.
Oh, no, it's all been a dream.
Oh, great.
Okay, but what about Boyd and Ava?
Okay.
Right.
Because we were talking about this. He's writing some checks that he may not be able to cash with her. He's
taking it easy on her. He's treating her with kid gloves. He's not telling her the truth.
Right.
right.
And she knows it. And she's calling him on it. He's like, no. Everything's fine. We haven't lost any shipments lately. No murders that I accidentally caused. No loose ends.
Everything's okay,
Sweetheart,
honey.
just get through this, and the wild man and I will get you out of it.
Let's turn that frown upside down.
Yeah.
No missing shipments.
Yeah. La da 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 da.
But
no,
yeah,
wrong.
but this is not a Boyd that we've seen. You know.
Well, he's never.
Not in control.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
no,
yours,
we had a little bit of it.
Who is running Boyd though? But Ava has always been the
Not since
girl
season
that
2.
you know he can totally be honest. I mean, they've always been the team.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he's
Well, no,
really,
even last year, even the year before that, you know, there's a lot of things he was doing that he didn't tell her about.
Yeah, he was hiding all that
He
money.
might have hit some stuff, but he didn't.
Straight up lie to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they're kind of doing here, and you know maybe it's just protecting her and whatever. Maybe there's nothing there, but it's just.
I
don't
think
know, it seems
what it
kinda odd.
is just she's in prison. He can't protect her. This is the only way in his mind he can protect her. He's a very he's that old school romantic in his head, and he thinks he's doing her a service.
By not keeping her up on
She has
all
enough to be worried. Don't make her worry
because
about stuff that she can't do anything about.
Exactly. She's already dealing with other prisoners, potentially getting shivved, potentially being in there for the rest of her life.
And there's a pretty exotic woman outside of prison too. I think
that's very distracting.
Yeah, very distracting.
As he puts it, he's like, were I not engaged, I would like to get her, know her much better.
Make her acquaintance.
Make her acquaintance.
I was going to talk about this in the news, but I feel like it should come up now. There was this interesting comment from Walton Goggins. He says, 2, maybe 3 episodes into filming season 5, I was having a conversation with my wife, and I said, I'm just feeling an extraordinary amount of anxiety, like in my personal life. I feel alone. I feel suspicious of people. I don't really know what's going on with me. I feel short-tempered. And she said, Walton, that's Boyd. And I said, oh my God, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is. And so he, as often happens, the actor issues are coming into his life, but he's feeling like the people that he doesn't have a history with the people who are around him. He doesn't have cousin Johnny. He doesn't trust anyone. He's cornered. He's losing control. And he can't get Ava out of jail. And so he's dealing with all that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit of insight into what's going on with Boyd
and
through
what do we
Walton
see
Goggins.
for next week is he asks Wynn. He doesn't trust Wynn at all. Not that he really did, but he even point blank asked him, "Did you steal from me?"
Right.
Yeah. No,
so
we've never seen him this helpless. We've seen him directionless before, but he's always had allies,
plans, and he's always had schemes that have moved
and
him
he's
ahead
a couple
right
of
now.
steps ahead of most people.
And now
almost
he's
all the time.
behind.
Yeah, he is, and that's a strange place for
Everywhere
him to
he
be.
goes, he's getting blocked.
Which is nice when you think back on the previous episode where he did not want to give the money up. You know, but Duffy had to say, you got to give him the money now, boy.
Right, right.
And I think it goes to your point about he doesn't have control.
Yeah.
He's got to give up too much.
Yeah.
Boyd out of control is going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, but also
that's
Ava.
what I'm saying, he's a caged animal. Go ahead.
Yeah, and aside from him having control over the situation, Ava is his anchor, and she's not there, and he's not able to really anchor her either, and so it's a real lost situation for all of them. The thing is though, Ava being in jail, that is boring as far as the viewer goes, and so they've got to figure out how they're going to get her out of jail or make jail more interesting.
Yeah. Because they did they brought the wild man in. That was there. Yeah, the wild man. That makes it interesting.
You got one more. You got one more gag at that,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
it's kind of like, the headphones guy.
Yeah,
But prisons, it's just a tough,
It's a tough sell.
It's a tough
Nice.
ride. It's you don't have a lot of places to go.
But here's
and we did that. They had the same problem every time they put Boyd in jail or Dickie or somebody. It's like
Right.
get them out.
There
get
are
them
only
out. Back
so
in
many
play.
times we can watch them talking through glass at
and
each other.
Arlo was when he was in jail. That was kind of fun, but
But because there were things happening in
exactly,
jail.
I know.
He
we had
killed
to do
someone immediately.
that. Yeah,
Right.
and so there you go.
That kept things fresh.
Yes.
So maybe Ava will be forced to kill, or Ava might not be long for this world.
Whoa! Look at that.
Or out of control boy does a jailbreak.
Right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, but then they have to go on the run, and then they're never in Harlan anymore. So.
Yeah, that's like too much. You know, they can never show their faces again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they'll figure out how to get her out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have to.
Because they have to.
Exactly.
Or she does.
So we need to get some more makeup on Ava because she's feeling, you know, she needs, not that she doesn't look good because she's beautiful, but I'm sure Ava herself is needing to get her roots done and wanting lipstick. That's the kind of girl she is.
There you go, and thank you for bringing that. See, because
You know, I got to bring the female perspective.
I haven't really
And a
thought
nice
about
shot
that.
of honey whiskey.
Exactly.
Or some, just not some apple pie, because you never
Or
know
some
what's
apple
in
pie.
it. It's in the glass, not the bottle.
Oh, so good.
That's the
apple
trick.
apple
Love
pie
it.
moonshine is delicious.
I have some in my fridge. I
That's
could bring
what
it
she
next
does.
week.
Oh, please do.
I will.
Bring it.
Okay,
I
great.
will.
Okay.
I'll bring the
All
Jack
right,
Daniels.
that'll move us on to art.
This will be
because-
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, it's nice
Okay.
to
You don't
see
have,
art
you don't
back.
have any Pappy Van Winkle, do you? That's Art's favorite.
No, I
Okay,
don't. No, I
okay.
don't. I
We
got
do have
apple
a pie.
pie.
That's fine.
All right, so Art, you know, for whatever reason, he's got some itch that he's got to scratch about the Tonin, Sammy Tonin.
Yes.
Of course, it comes off he realizes there was a phone call for Raylan.
For Raylan.
Yeah.
Just 24 hours before Sammy died.
Yep, and so he wants to know.
That is the veteran cop with the itch going.
Yep.
He's got that Marshall
Spidey-
stiffy.
Spidey sense.
Exactly.
Right?
Marshall
That's it.
Stiffy,
Got
that
the
is.
Marshall,
Marshall
Stiffy.
Stiffy.
Where he's just not letting that go.
Well,
Yep.
what was this call about? That's
Yeah.
like the
What-
big question.
Yeah, and everybody wants to know.
You know, did he think that he was going to be killed by the Canadians? I mean, it seemed like he was pretty sure that was going to happen
Right.
eventually. Maybe not from his own guys. But the tone of this conversation, what he wanted to say, what Raylan could have potentially done, all very interesting questions.
Yeah, because there's no, I mean, if I'm the guy, if I'm Art, I'm going, why the hell would Sammy Tonin call you and then 24 hours later, boom, he's dead? What the hell? How could you let that go?
Yeah. Well, this is just going to be one of those stories that, you know, it goes across the whole season.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
when we finally unpack it, and
And when Art learns what happens to Nick Augustine and where everybody was in that particular moment.
And who was walking away from what.
exactly, like, what does that mean for Raylan? What does that mean for season
And you know what I
6?
thought was really interesting is because Raylan kept saying, "Are we good? Are we good? Are we good?" He doesn't usually ask that. I mean, every once in a while he might, but I thought that was interesting
point.
because he kept saying that, and I go, "No, you're not good.
No.
You're not at
Right.
all." And I think that was just a little thing to let us know
Well,
that little
it's-
subconscious thing that Raylan knows they're not good. And
It's
you know,
got to be amazing how much stuff Raylan as a character has to juggle in his brain. You know, because he's walking away from that conversation going, Art is not going to give this up. If he's asking me about it, something else is coming up.
Just the way he was looking when he was asking those questions. I don't know. What
Yeah.
we had that face to face,
That
and
thing.
that strained look on his face, which was trying to look so cool and not strained, and yet
Yeah.
it felt like,
And then the little sweat bead.
yeah. So,
yeah,
how
but
do
at
we
the
get
same
it?
time, when he's asking, "Are we good? Are we good?" He's basically saying, "You have something you want to ask me?
Right.
Yeah.
If not, then I'm gonna go take care of this case."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something you want to ask me?
And just refresh me, the guy that he didn't whack, but he didn't help not have it happen.
Nikki.
Nick Augustine.
Nicky Augustine.
He was gunning for Sammy, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Raylan made Sammy aware of that and allowed Sammy to get the jump on him.
Okay.
So Sammy took care of Nikki before
For
Nikki.
And because
For
Nikki
him.
was coming after Raylan's family.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yep.
friend Raylan.
He gave
Yep.
gave Nikki one chance though to walk away,
Yeah, exactly.
and he refused.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Because Nikki's a gentleman, or because
No,
Raylan's
Raylan's a gentleman.
Okay, I'm like Nikki was no gentleman.
He even held the door when the gunman showed up, and then he walked away.
Yes.
So that's that. So,
I
obviously
love
that's
it.
going to come back.
Yeah, they got a little mystery, a little side
Now we got
mystery.
the Fibbies in on it.
Yeah.
And
they're
it's
on-
cool that Art gets to do, a little bit more. Art gets to,
He'll do some investigative.
just instead of just
but is he really
telling-
going to want to know?
Well,
No.
And that's and then you always have the
That's
question of
gonna be the
now,
dilemma.
Because
Yeah.
now that you know, what do I? Great, now you put me in the position. Now that I know, now I have to do something or I'm
Right.
culpable.
Yeah, but here's the problem, right? So Raylan has always exhibited this devil-may-care attitude towards the rules.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
done a lot of questionable stuff, and it's kind of in the same vein as last episode where I was like, "Oh, is there really going to be a class action lawsuit that's going to bring up all these people that he's?"
Yeah.
This is way more compelling.
Yes.
And it's one of these beautiful things where all of the things that Raylan has ever done that have been outside the law, by the end of this series will come back to haunt him, and that's just such awesome storytelling.
Yeah. And, you know, again, a little bit more foreshadowing. And not that Art hasn't said this before, but the fact that he says, am I going to be held liable for anything he does in Monroe's house? Because he knows. I mean, you know, if Raylan wasn't as good as he is and didn't produce the results he did, Art, I don't think would have any time for this guy.
No.
Because there's so much you have to, there's a high price to have Raylan in your office.
Yeah.
As good as he is. That's what it seems. I mean,
Yeah,
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, and sometimes you get a return.
$300,000 on this.
You're right.
to Dewey. So,
No, you get an atomic bomb. It's gonna leave a hell of a mess behind.
exactly.
It does the job, but
Exactly.
there's gonna be nuclear fallout. For
Yeah, there's a lot of
50 years.
flotsam in his wake. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way.
Ooh, flotsam. Is there any jetsam in his wake?
Yes.
Not that he would see,
No.
because you don't see Jetson.
Okay, moving on. That's a boating reference. I can't get.
If I'm wrong, I'll get the
I
letters.
really want to
Sure I'm
know
right.
what jetsam actually is. They've only just been words
It's
to
a
me.
futuristic family.
All right, I just mentioned Dewey, so I want to get to the Dewey thing because,
Yeah.
again, for a lot of this episode, it was a lot of setup, who, you know, the groundwork and what's going to be coming the rest of the season. And of course, Daryl shows up. But before
Daryl
the
shows
reveal,
up.
go ahead. I think Tammy, you enjoyed the
Well, you know, naked butts. Is that what you're talking about?
Naked butts.
Well, the whole
No, Dale. So we learned that Dale is supposed to be paying a cut of his profits.
Wade.
Wade.
No,
sorry.
Wade is skimming for Boyd.
Yes.
Right.
That's what we learned. So
Right.
unbeknownst to Dewey,
Right.
Wade is skimming for Boyd.
Right.
So, and not doing a very good job of it because they're not able to collect.
They're not able to collect
He
because
doesn't have the balls for it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the balls to walk into the office, and they make such a racket that Dewey comes out, and he has to come up with a last-minute excuse.
And Wade is so good at the spur of the moment.
He's just really upset that Chrissy's gone, that you fired her. The fat one? A lot of people have been asking after her. She
Has learned to develop her skill set to compensate
exactly
for the extra pounds.
It's a big deal.
And ain't it the truth, though? I mean, right? I mean,
It's so fun to see this because again, they just give Dewey just enough. He gets to be like the Barney Fife of running a bar.
well, I think the two of them. I honestly can't tell you whether I like Wade or Dewey better now because I think Wade does such a great job.
I got a great story in the news about
Can't
Wade,
choose.
which is very
All right, so
funny. But you know that moment where Dewey's in bed with the two hookers, you know, full on swastika tats showing everywhere, and his line is, Matt,
unless Hitler has risen from the grave and is standing in my whorehouse, get away from the door.
And then Wade outside. Well, I wouldn't bother if it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. You said you were kin and all, and then oh snap, Daryl Crow.
In the hug.
I really like the eye lines. The sight lines.
Daryl's so much taller.
Daryl's just like going to me, cousin. It's just like you just see this big old bear.
And we just heard Dewey say those Florida crowders are trouble. I mean, crows are trouble.
Yeah, Florida crows are no good.
You don't want to have anything to do with them. Now they're on his
there's one
doorstep.
in his bar.
They're in his whorehouse, and they're going to help. They're going to take over.
Yeah.
They're going to take over that enterprise, Dewey's enterprise.
As soon as
I
he
wonder
sees
what's
him,
gonna-
he knows
What
it.
makes you think that's going to happen?
Well,
Dewey's such a powerhouse.
But and so we're going to see how Daryl gets involved in whatever else is happening.
And I'm very, very curious what's going to happen to Boyd's skimming when Daryl takes over.
Yeah, because he's going to find out about it, of course.
Daryl will take it very personally.
Oh yes, absolutely. But that's what leads us. Okay, so Daryl's in town now, and then of course this whole thing happens with the shipment.
yes.
So, which goes to Matt's thing. You say, so let's talk about it, Matt. What was your theory?
So we got this guy Cyrus who he makes a whole big scene when Wynn is trying to calm all the dealers and
I need to
distributors
know
down.
when.
And his wonderful people skills.
Exactly when? When? Tell me when.
Right.
Well, here's the thing that before we get just real quick. So Wynn's got horrible people skills, which in this guy in this business, but I think in this world he just can't deal with these guys.
I think that's it. I think he just wants to go home and shower when he's in that bar.
And again, it was a great opportunity to show us once again that Boyd was a preacher, and and we get a little taste of that and a throwback to that. And I loved it whenever he goes in there and he does Boyd comes in, he goes, and he does that whole thing. I just think that's great. I mean, that's Walton Goggins. You must be going. Anytime he has an opportunity to do that, he must be going. Great! I love this because
he just sinks his teeth into it, and he delivers captures it so beautifully. So we catch up with Cyrus, and he's shooting BBs at tweakers, just
nice.
for fun.
Crackpot, by the way, is a nice nickname.
Crackpot. And Candy, who we remember from last season, was Johnny's girl.
Right.
David Meunier, another friend of the show, has been
Friend
here.
of the show.
Yes, and she resurfaces. She's looking a little worse for wear now.
What?
Just a little more cracked out, just a tad.
Talk about needing some
Still
makeup.
still beautiful, but a little roughed up. And she kind of teases this information out of him. She finds out that the shipment is coming in tonight. And she offers, in exchange for this information, to
A special service.
to eat put some Pop Rocks in her mouth and then give him a blowjob.
Whoa, whoa,
Oh, wait,
whoa,
what?
Can I not say blowjob?
No, Pop Rocks.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, that's product
That's a
placement.
name brand.
That's a name brand.
I'm
We don't
sorry, I don't
care
remember
about
They
the.
were
I don't remember
Snap
the
Rocks, I believe.
Snap Crackle Rocks on the show, and apparently it makes you feel like your parts are in a popcorn popper, which I don't know why that's attractive.
John, what was your reaction to that?
I just kept thinking of that hot blade going around the kettle. Like, what? No,
bad
no,
news.
nothing
But-
of that sounds good.
His Orville's going to be a lot Redenbacher.
That was very nice.
That's a
I'm
funny
really
joke.
proud of you, John. You've reached a new level of punnery. That's beautiful. So the shipment, they finally get there, and the whole thing's been stolen. Tons of bodies, bullets spent. It was a bloodbath.
Yes.
Boyd says clean it up immediately. So Candy was Johnny's girl. We don't
Yeah.
know where Johnny is.
Yeah.
at
No,
present.
we
don't know.
don't.
So I'm wondering,
Is Johnny back?
is Johnny back, and who's backing him? Because there's no way he has that kind of firepower.
Here's what I'm going to say from the inside information. We saw David Meunier at the premiere last week, like we said.
Yeah.
And when I checked on IMDb, they noted that he was in the series in 2014. So
We just don't know when,
We just
what-
don't know
what
when. We don't know
episode.
any more than that. But so
But it's interesting
Thank you,
that they
Internet.
used
We know
Candy.
he's coming
So
back.
somebody we knew,
Well,
right?
and somebody who had a relationship with Johnny. We don't know what's happening with Johnny, and we have no idea who's done this yet. It could have been Daryl. For all I mean, I don't know how he would know, but he's in town.
right?
You can also flip this though, because when you were mentioning how Cyrus was being very vocal in the meeting,
Yeah.
and he did want to know when, and then he's talking to Candy with more
Oh, yeah.
information. So it might be that scene was in there to show Cyrus has a lot more information
Interesting.
than
So he's connected
passing
with
it
somebody else.
along. You know what I mean? So
I don't know.
either way,
In my opinion, loose lips sink ships. His lips are plenty loose, even looser than Candy.
So, but
candies are popping a lot more though.
That's
all right.
true.
But so who do you think is behind it though? Do you have a theory on that?
I'm throwing my money behind Johnny. Here's the thing. He's a guy, a man without a country. He doesn't have
Yeah.
that many connections. He doesn't have a lot of family left. So who's he going to take with him? He's going to take his girl. That's the only person who's loyal to him.
Right.
You know, she doesn't seem to be working at the whorehouse anymore. So
Yeah.
I have to imagine someone's backing her. It's going to be her. Who's backing him is the big question. And I'm very, very curious to see who it is. I'm going to throw this out there, probably wrong, but maybe Limehouse, somebody. Like he's
Johnny approached Detroit.
he did, but he approached them through Wynn,
Yeah.
and then he got kind of brushed
Right.
aside in favor of Boyd at the end of last season.
Now, the only other thing I was thinking is that the only other person that might know about the Canadian shipment might be Picker.
That's true.
Yes.
Well,
You know that
Well,
we know he
will
has no
see.
gumption about taking out a bunch of people.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we will. We'll
that'll
see
be
next
I think it's
week.
very interesting to try and figure out, to try and visualize either of those guys as drug kingpins.
Yeah,
you know?
but the only reason why I was thinking of Picker is he knows that what the landscape is. There's nobody filling this void, and I might be able to. I don't know that he was thinking that I could take over everything, but I can take care of this thing, get this shipment, and
and maybe begin my new enterprise.
or just make a quick, fast buck.
And then then go
Exactly.
back into the cave
Right.
that I've been hiding in for the last year.
All right.
Don't know.
they knew they were going up against Boyd,
Yeah.
so it had to be someone with either very stupid or with a
Right.
very large
Grudge.
set of
So we got a lot of things at play.
very large set of grudges.
Yeah. A lot of fun things are going to be
Yeah,
unpacked
yeah.
over the course of this season. A very solid episode.
So yes, very good. Okay, that's it for us, right? Let's go to news and gossip.
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Justified's 5th season opened with 2.8 million viewers last week, down 21% from the season 4 opener, which is not good.
Did they have any reason why? Did they offer anything?
Nope.
You know, I'm going to say this. I thought it was about marketing because last year I was
it was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Bus ads.
Yeah, all over the
commercials.
place. This not anywhere near.
Occasionally on a football game, you see a blurb, and that was it. And a few bus stops. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was way down.
And by more than the 20% drop or whatever, because it seemed like when I saw one, I was looking, like, that's right. Where the heck are they? They're not around.
It just kills me that more people don't watch this show because it is the best crime show. It is the best crime show. You know, Breaking Bad's off the air. This is the best crime show on TV.
Exactly.
And it's easily the most fun.
We were talking about in previous seasons how they produce and show stuff that if I were sitting in a theater, I'd be blown away.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
The quality is really, really consistent and amazing.
And it's interesting because they talk about how they have smaller budgets than most of the shows. I mean, Graham Yost talked about that.
Yeah, what they do on a smaller budget.
Exactly. They've got challenges that they have to deal with, which is just.
Yeah, but you rarely ever see that on the screen.
No.
You don't
never see the scenes.
Never.
Yeah.
The TCA's, the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour happened this week, and in it, Justified announced that there would be they would be part of a tribute to Elmore Leonard, who passed away in August of last year. The event is going to be held here in Santa Monica, California.
Oh, great. All
Wonderful.
Right. That's it. And well-deserved, by the way.
Speaking of Elmore Leonard's passing, his spirit remains ever present on the set of Justified, according to the cast. They leave a empty chair in front of the monitors when they're filming on set.
Oh, man.
So that mini moment, according to Walton Goggins, the mini moment has been a source of strength. And I quote here, "There was one day in particular that was really kind of hard. There was this one scene and I just couldn't get it right. I was tired because it was the end of the day and I just said, F it, I'm going to sit in your chair, Elmore. I'm going to sit down."
Oh, and this is Walton saying that? Oh, wow.
And he says, and it was, for lack of a better word, special and comforting.
Oh,
wonderful.
Way to go, Walton.
Yeah. Also at the TCAs, we learned for real that Season 6 will be the final season for Justified.
It's been speculated for a while that they'd only do 6 seasons. It was confirmed at the TCA.
According to Entertainment Weekly, FX Network's John Landgraf made it official at the TCA this week. And basically, it was a decision made by Graham Yost and Timothy Oliphant. We talked about it a year ago, and they felt that the arc of the show and what they had to say would be served by 6 seasons instead of 7, and I regretfully accepted their decision. They were given financial incentives to continue, but Graham Yost said no.
Which, you know, as much as we love the show, we want to have as much of it as possible.
Sure.
That they are choosing to end it on their terms because they feel it would best serve the story is the best thing we could possibly have.
And not that they were thinking this, but that does feel very Elmore Leonard-like to just say, no, I'm done and walk away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know Graham Yost will have another story in him that we'll probably fall in love with just as much. Wade Messer, played by James LaGrosse, working in the bar, as we talked about. And his line that we loved, "Hey, Raylan, can I get you a blowjob or something?" Graham Yost says, "There was a day on the set later on when we wanted to get a cake for James LaGrosse, and we tried to get a cake from Costco with the words, 'Can I get you a blowjob?' on it, and they wouldn't do it."
Aww.
So the caterers had to write it on themselves. He says, "I totally understand why Costco wouldn't want to be doing a cake with that written on it."
Sure.
Okay.
Some poor PA,
craft services
poor PA
inside.
going into the Costco. Can you just read it, please?
Don't make me say it.
Please.
Yeah.
It's really important.
And then
my job over this.
we just have a couple of comments and a Twitter comment I want to say. Ben Hamill from YouTube said he hears that Constable Bob will be back.
Oh, I hope
But I do not know
right.
when.
I hope he's got good intel.
I hope so too. I wonder where he heard it. And Ben, if you're listening and know any more about that, let us know. Also, Baron of Hell said, "They said I was wrong for liking AfterBuzz, but I was justified."
Oh, nice.
That's a good pun.
Scott McLeod on Twitter tweeted me today, and he said, or yesterday, he said, "So is this the year of the guest star on Justified? Is that a showrunner decision or due to the awesomeness of the show?" Let's talk about that.
Well, you know, because when we were at the premiere the other day, Graham Yost had mentioned how many people have approached him to be on it. Most approach him because they want to get killed on the show. In fact, he says that's the majority of the time that he's approached is because somebody.
Well, yeah, who doesn't want a good death murder scene?
Exactly.
Who doesn't want squibs? You know, the whole deal.
But it's because of the quality of the show. Everybody loves this show, especially in the industry. They love this show.
And, you know, Chris Chalk was talking about when he went on our AfterBuzz for Newsroom, talking about Justified and said, you know, Timothy Oliphant and the rest of the writing team and production team are so involved in everything that, you know, it gives us who analyze and who are fans so much to think about and so much to talk about. Think about how that is for an actor to come in
they ask
and
us
really
anything you
get
want to
to
do, you know, because they really involve them. So of course they want to do it.
Yeah, so every actor wants to be on the show.
Absolutely.
Where else are you going to get to say lines like that
and
then know you're going to get blown away? I mean, you know, what a great opportunity.
Rad. I'm going to be sad to see it go.
And both so
we
far,
have a whole season plus.
I know, but I'm starting my morning now. I don't want to be caught unawares.
And how many guest stars did they have this in the last week?
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, it was like crazy.
Yeah.
There were like 11 last episode that I knew by name.
Yeah.
Right.
Alone.
This one they had the Harris brothers. No, I mean right there, and well, Amy Smart's in it. She's not a guest star.
Caitlin Dever returned.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Loretta McCready.
Right.
It's crazy.
Whole bunch.
So thank you everybody for your comments. Keep them coming,
yes, please do.
and
Go
we
to
appreciate that.
YouTube and iTunes, and where else can they do it? I guess AfterBuzz
And they
TV.
can tweet us and tweet AfterBuzz TV. Yeah.
Right.
So thanks. That's what you have for news today.
All right, thank you, Tamara. Now we're going to go on to predictions. We've already made a few. We already think we know.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
What?
Prediction.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So I want to talk about Mara. What do we think the game is? Is it really just to get the 300,000 to get out of there, or do you think there's anything else going on?
I have to imagine she's in a rough spot because Lee is still alive.
Yeah.
So frankly, I don't think there's a deeper game there. I think she's just trying to go home. She leads a terrible life now. There's no way she's gonna get Lee's money unless she puts in, you know,
like 10 more years, whatever, however many more years.
Probably like 9 more years of horrible marriage.
Yeah.
No way.
With an old dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's not like my biggest concern. Like
So, but what do you do then? Okay, so here she is. She's got. I can't get the money because if he's alive, I got 8, 9, whatever, how many more years. If he's dead, I'm not going to get the money because I didn't. And now I've got the sheriff saying, "No, you finger Boyd for me. Pardon me. You ID Boyd."
No. You were right the first time.
Okay, you ID Boyd, or I get money from Boyd.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
but here's the thing: there's no choice to give. If Paxton is alive, I guess you can still ID him for beating him up, but it won't be for murder.
But I don't think McMooney wants Boyd's money. I think McMooney wants
just
Boyd.
Mooney. There's no Mick.
Oh, okay, sorry. Mooney wants Boyd.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. So,
but what do you do if you're Mara? That's my question. What do we have any predictions on that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Going backwards,
it's going to be hard for her to touch base with Boyd and see what's up because obviously she's being watched by the sheriff's department.
But she's a player and she knows how to play the game.
I'm starting to wonder how well she knows.
Yeah, because she can't be that good of a player if she ended up in a marriage that you're going to wait 10 years.
She's
she
no
didn't do
Loretta
that deal was very good.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So, but
I don't know.
But I don't have a clue on.
Yeah. I'm just excited about, you know, Boyd's being put in a corner, he's being put in a box, and that, you know, now that they've set an official end date for the series, you know, they're starting to they're bringing Loretta back, bringing Hot Rod back. All of the loose ends that have been brought up so far in this show or that have been left are going to start getting tied up, leading to, hopefully, you know, the epic confrontation between Boyd and Raylan that we've been waiting for since season 1.
But we got 20-something episodes before that's going to happen.
I know.
But here's
so
the
relax there, champ.
So just because we're doing predictions and this will be out there, I think it's Johnny with the backing of Theo.
Yeah.
Because he already went to Detroit once,
and
that didn't work, but he went to the wrong people. I think, I'm just saying, Theo's still out there, Johnny's still out there, let's put them together because it would be something that Johnny wanted to do, and this is a great way to get back at Boyd, which he really wanted to do.
I like that prediction.
I like it
You're
too.
talking about the hit?
The hit, yeah. It's out there, but you know, it's a
I don't know about Theo's involvement, but
I know that's why I said that's way out there, but I do think Johnny's part of it.
Yeah.
So, all right, anything last words?
I know.
Okay, Matt, tell them where they can find you.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can also find me on way too many shows here at AfterBuzz TV. Just to listen to a few of them: Almost Human, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We got Helix and Banshee, both amazing new. Helix is an amazing new show. You should definitely check that out. Banshee season 2. We got Sherlock starting up on Sunday night, and a whole bunch of others.
And where can they find you? Where are you performing?
Oh, and you can find me at the IO West Comedy Theater. If you're out here in Los Angeles, you love live comedy, I'm there 6366 Hollywood Boulevard the first Sunday of every month as a member of DJ Fawcett.
Thank you very much, Matt. Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Bottomley Steven on Twitter.
Okay, great.
And the show.
I am at Tamara Berg on Twitter, TamaraBerg. Also, my website is tamaracentral.com. I've got a new video there. Check it out. It's about champagne.
All right.
Oh,
lovely.
Let's celebrate. Let's save that.
When are you going to do one on moonshine?
Yeah, on apple pie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's old news.
All right. The only place you can find me is here. So we will talk to you next time.
week.
Tamara Twist on drug running.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.